All right, welcome everyone. We're going to give a few minutes for everybody to jump into the room here, and then we'll get started. Hope everybody's having a good night. Just going to mute myself for a minute so that you don't hear any dogs barking or kids yelling or anything like that. All right, looks like we got some people coming in. Go ahead and let us know where you are in the world right now. Take a couple more, maybe a minute or so, and then we'll get in. Looks like we got about a dozen people or so. Ooh, all right. We've got our director from Iran has joined us today. Thank you for coming on. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for everybody for joining. For those of you who are catching up with me after work, sometime when you have a little bit more free time, hopefully this information is good for you and sends us into the holiday season on a positive note. So let's see here. A little bit about what we're going to do today. Just going to talk about. Let me pop this open. Just kind of a brief overview of the season so far. Talked about some of the updates on these initiatives that we've been running that we implemented this year. Athena's going to come in and talk a little bit about each of those. Michael's going to join us to talk about CPI. We'll go into some of the software updates that we've been able to push out this year. Then I want to do a quick demo of our Director Resource Center. Which you probably have gotten some emails on recently. Anybody who's a paid director has access to that. I'll just kind of do a little walkthrough and talk about the plan with that, and then we'll send you into the holidays with a little story. So, all right, let's get going. Oops, that is not right. Hold on just 1 second. Did not test my technology first. All right. Oh no. Okay. All right, let's get back to where we were. Okay. All right, so hopefully everybody can see that now. Let me just do a quick check. Perfect. Okay, we got a blank screen right now. What I really want to focus on, I know we get ambitious at the ACL. We're trying to roll out new initiatives all the time. We try to push the envelope as we've talked about before, and really trying to keep evolving this sport so that we can continue to grow in our ultimate goal of just being a nation or international event that everybody knows about, and eventually, hopefully to the Olympics. There obviously we've got some sites out there that like to bring some of the negativity. Obviously, it's hard for us to sometimes read some of those comments. So in times like that, I really like to come back to focus on the positive things that we're doing, so that we know that we are making a difference, not just us at the national staff, but all levels of directors. And I really want to go into what kind of some of the highlights later on in the session that we've seen so far in the first 3 months of the season. So really want to focus on the progress. I asked Athena to send me some screenshots of some really positive posts that some of our directors and players have been posting online, and just wanted to share a few of them with you. All right, so this ties back to one of our new initiatives with our director engagement program. So Jeff, thanks for posting. Daryl posted on the rules, something with the club engagement page that if you're not familiar with that, Athena is going to be talking about in a little bit with different things that are getting posted. So Daryl posting some positive comments on the ACL rules. All right. Okay. Richard posting a picture of a piece of the welcome kit, and in front of looks like some holiday gear. Thank you, Richard. Ashley posting a picture of the welcome kit. Okay, the welcome kit was a new thing we tried to roll out this year. I know some of you have been around for a long time before, and this was the first time that we've really made that effort to kind of send something out. We've heard a lot of positive feedback from newer directors who really like the documentation. Definitely trying to improve upon these in the years to come. I had a certain budget that I had to work with, and wanted to make the most out of it to give everybody some of those key things that are commonly asked for. So kind of give you a high quality version of those. Okay. Another one of our initiatives that we have now, when you reach a certain level, either on the player side or the director side, we've got a giveaway where Athena does during the director's table interviews. She'll do a, kind of the drawing to see who wins that giveaway. So Michelle won the first round of that. So looks like Steve posted on that. And then a nice comment from Michelle here, where a new director, it appears to be, had some issues with the software and kind of getting up to speed with the software. But then through support from Michael, Athena, area manager, state directors, was able to experience her first successful event, and took the time to post on it. So really, those types of posts really keep us going. They do, because it's so easy to focus on the negatives. Seeing stuff like this, seeing the positives, especially for a lot of us who are perfectionists, we really want to get this right and do the best we can to support directors. To be able to see stuff like this really helps quite a bit. So I appreciate, I know we didn't get everybody's comments here, but this is just a sampling of the positive stuff that we see, and really do appreciate that. So, all right, I'm gonna jump back here real quick. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Now, for those of you who do not know, maybe you're not on Facebook, or maybe you signed up after some of the director emails went out, we do have a new Facebook group that Athena has initiated, and it's our ACL Club engagement page. It's really to highlight a lot of the things that Athena is going to talk about here in a minute. If you have not seen the page yet, I urge you to go there. You can either go to facebook.com/ACL Club Engagement, or just search ACL Club Engagement in the search field, and then it'll pull this right up. Lots of good stuff that is getting posted there. So with that, let me turn it over to Athena here. Hi, Athena. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good. Do you want to talk any more about the club engagement page, or would you like me to go on to the next slide?
Yeah, just briefly, just kind of, reminding everyone to definitely make sure that you go on Facebook, give it a like or a follow. We have a lot of information that's rolling out. Also, we are going to have a very big sort of holiday collage. So if any of you are running, any type of fun events, maybe you're doing a Christmas drive or just something fun to get, everything kicked off before the holiday, we want to see all of those pictures. So drop them either in our directors group or into our photo of the week bucket. That way we can go ahead and make sure that we get some of those posted. We want to do a lot of really fun things coming up with the season. So just make sure that you are keeping an eye on it. We are doing our best to try to share all of those engagement posts in our director group. But as long as you're following it, keep those notifications on, and maybe you'll see your name posted on there as well. All right. Perfect. So a big part that we're going to highlight is the PEP program. So just wanted to give a quick overview and just a friendly little reminder of how it works. So same thing, it rewards players for their participation in cornhole events just by attending the local, state level, everything along those lines. A quick overview of how they can still earn their points. All the information is also in the player's guide, so if players ever have questions, definitely refer them there. We are going to be sharing a public link that all players will be able to monitor and take a look at all of those points. I know directors have been asking for it. We just wanted to make sure that everything looked how we wanted it to in order for it to go out into the public, but it is very, very exciting, and I have some pretty cool stats to go over with that as well. So either screenshot this, take a look at the player guide, but all the information is pretty much the same. Just wanted to make sure that you all have eyes on it and that you're remembering about that player engagement program. All right. And then next one, our director engagement. Pretty much the same thing, bag tracker rounds, tournament players, tournaments hosted. So every little bit, just running events, you're earning all of that. Now, a really fun thing to do is, keeping in mind and, reminding your players, hey, I really want to get to the next level. I want that, ACL flag, whatever it is that your goals are, keep your players engaged with that, because I promise you a lot of these players really want to make sure that you're all successful as well. And it makes it very entertaining, especially once players are able to take a look at those points. Again, once we get that linked out for you, it's going to be kind of a race to the finish line. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see who potentially makes it to that, end goal and that end level. So keep that in mind. We do have a little like a little thermometer that we're putting together. I want to make sure that it's ready. I was hoping I'd have it ready right now. Did not get it quite yet, but I want to make sure that it hits a couple of items. It's super fun. We'll make sure that all of you are able to get it, download it. You can put it at your director's table, post it at your venue, but essentially you can color in every single time you reach the next level. So there is a visual for your players, and just let them know we're almost there. We're super close. So it'll be something to kind of keep it a little bit fun as well for that. Now, a couple of really cool numbers going into the DEP is right over here. So we are moving along really, really well. So you guys are running a ton of cornhole events, lots of cornhole events, which means players are having an amazing time. We're engaging with the community. We're bringing something, not only for players to earn points on the more competitive end, but also bringing people together. And these numbers definitely show it. I think every time they get ran, which is every Tuesday, there is an update. I get more and more impressed by everything. And I'm sure, Todd and Michael does as well. And most of you, if you are taking a look at those spreadsheets, you can see everything also. So to give you guys a little bit of a numbers game. So level 1, we have 64 directors who have already locked in level 1, 47 at level 2, level 3 is 46, level 4 is 74, level 5 is 26, and level 6, we still have Stacy Washa in the lead. So she is still currently hanging on to that lead with, a few more, directors that are getting fairly close to her. But she is currently the one who is at that level 6, which unlocked her director jersey. So once we get that squared away for her, it's going to be exciting to see those first pictures come out. But definitely keep in mind in your admin portal, right in there, you'll be able to see the spreadsheet link. If you haven't had a chance to look at it yet, just log right in there. You're going to be able to keep track of that information. Use those details for maybe, some of your players. If you look at the player, section, you can kind of see who's leading in your area, in your state, and it's pretty exciting to take a look at. But you guys are all doing awesome, so thank you all, and I'm excited to get a few more emails are going to go out on Friday. We have some more flags that are going to go out to some of the directors. Now, those of you who are overseas, Canada, I am working on a couple of things there, so we're getting a couple of those things. We'll get a separate email once I get some more details, but we'll get all of that squared away for you guys. But other than that, though, that is the DEP and PEP in a nutshell.
Just wanted to remind everybody too. Thank you, Athena. By the way, yes. One of the things with trying to put these initiatives together quickly and make sure that we get them out is we usually move a lot faster than we physically can implement them, and two, making sure that all of the parties that are involved in this scenario, Canada, as Athena mentioned, and Europe, are the logistics of that are figured out too. So we're learning as we go along, for sure. Now, for those of you that don't know, we do have these club pages that are new this season. Any paid director gets a club page once they start running events. All of the data or the standings or the stats for those events will show up on this club page. You can access this. You can set up your club page right in the admin portal from the slide out menu. There's a club page. Let me see what it's actually called. Club management. So if you look at the club management, and then again, once you start running events, it'll show up. Your player stuff will show up here. It is the plan to continue to increase the amount of information that is sent, that is posted here, to be able to allow for more filters. Like if you want to do some sort of monthly incentive or season-long type incentive, you'll be able to create filters and things like that. We do want to get CPI on there as well. These are, of course, we want to continue building on this because we really think this is a big staple of the, this community and club model that we're really trying to emphasize here. So if you don't know about that, make sure you check out the club management page. If you have this set up and somebody goes to the Find Director page on our website, on the I Play Cornhole website, your name, right next to your name, there'll be a button that says Club Page. So players will be able to send that or find that, or you can just copy and paste. You have a dedicated URL that you can share with the people in your club, the players in your club who are following you. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring in Michael now to talk about some CPI related items, and then I know CPI is an ongoing process. Let him talk about it. How you doing, Michael?
Good, doing good.
All right, I'm going to drop off and give you the stage.
All right, so CPI. I did a director session last week on CPI, and kind of thought, more directors would probably watch this particular session versus that one. So I want to touch on just a couple things we talked about there, give you some updates around CPI. So in the short term with CPI, we have some goals. First goal being continue to gather some data and put more information together. We want to start providing more data points to you, the director, and to the player, both in the admin portal and in the player app. We want to publish and create a CPI standings. So this is somewhere that people can go and see where they rank amongst everybody else in the CPI world. And we want to show like some linear progress and trends like we do with PPR. So if you could go to a CPI page and see where you were last week, where you were the week before, and just kind of see some trends and some linear progress. So that is our short-term goals, mainly around just gathering data. Longer-term goals, we have talked a lot about creating CPI tiers based on this data. This would be something that would help us move away from the current skill level base that we're using, the novice, intermediate, competitive skill levels, and would help us move more towards a tier based around that CPI number. We still got a lot to learn about CPI before, of course, we roll something like that out, but this season, gathering all this data is being super important for us. We also have some good ideas about, registration limits on CPI, something you can maybe say, hey, anybody with a 7 CPI and lower could play this, or, combine these two CPIs together to play in this division. So a lot of things coming in the long term with CPI. Right now, we're just still focused on that gathering data in the short term. About the data. So I shared this on the slide last week. So I want to share with you guys here. Right now, we have about 22,000 players that currently have a CPI. And I highlighted in green there so you can see in the middle, players with a 5 CPI to a 7 CPI. That range right there, that is about 65% of the player base right now. And so that's kind of what we're looking at is what does it mean to be in that range there? What does it mean for a player to have a 6 CPI, and how does that compare to everybody else? We know, looking at this data, that's 65% of the player base, but what we don't know yet moving forward is how those players interact with each other when they play each other, and we'll see on the next slide here. So in this, I wanted to highlight a couple players that show maybe some of the current issue with CPI. I've got 3 different players here. Each one of these players have a different skill level on their account. So player A says they're advanced, B says they're competitive, and C says they're intermediate. Now looking at the data, they all have the same exact CPI. So to me, that's kind of strange. I'd wonder, why would an advanced player have the same CPI as an intermediate player? What this data is showing us is that these 3 players, 2 of them are probably playing outside of their skill level. Looking at this advanced player, player A, this shows player A is only winning 46% of his games. So if player A is playing in the advanced division and most likely going 1 and 2 in their bracket, they're probably playing a little bit too high. Maybe they're just chasing points. On the flip side of that, player C, who has an intermediate skill levels, playing in the intermediate division, is winning over 70% of the games. So I would say this player is probably playing too low, right? You look at his 8 PPR, most people would say that's too high for intermediate. And the interesting thing is that they have the same CPI. So I think the next stage for this data is to evaluate what would happen if these 3 players played each other in a bracket. How would that affect their CPI? Because we can know that player A is probably not an advanced player. Player C is probably not an intermediate player. But if they started playing each other every week, does that mean that one of them will shoot up the list and one will shoot down? That's what we're going to try to figure out. So the future, like I said, short term, continuing to gather this data, analyze it, and work with directors and players to make it more useful for everybody.
Cool. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. I know there's a lot of questions around CPI. Yeah, I mean, it's the strength of it is on the data. The more data we collect, the more reliable, more assumptions we can make, and then we can start to really fine tune it and get people. Because one of the biggest things I think that people hear directors get complaints about is, how do I put people? When do I move people up in skill level? And this person is shooting this. They shouldn't be playing in this level and things like that. And this really, I think, balances out across the board. Whereas if somebody in Virginia, they've got a real strong player base there and the talent's really high. Another area might not be as strong, maybe a developing area. So an advanced player in one area is very different than an advanced player in another area. How do we, when it comes to open time or when it comes to worlds or something like that, or a state level event, how do we, take that into account? And the CPI is really the benchmark that we're hoping to really glean some good information out of. So cool.
Yep.
Thanks, Michael.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I just wanted to kind of go into some software updates that we've been able to push out this season so far. Nowhere near the number that we want. I mean, of course, we want. I know my patience level gets pretty thin when I want to. When I have an idea, I was like, oh, why can't that be put in yesterday? Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And since I'm not a programmer, I have no clue how long something might take to program. So I'm sure Sean has a voodoo doll of me in his house that he has some harsh words with from time to time. So, but here are just some things that we've gotten done in the first 3 months of the season. Obviously, I showed you the club pages already. Club director commission, and I want to go over that in the next slide. That is something we rolled out this year. I'll talk a little bit more about it in just a second. The social media buttons on the event pages to be able to share those. I know that was something that was asked for a lot. The timing of the stats and the leaderboard. I know there was early on in the season, we made a lot of change in the off season that affected some of the things that were already working and existing. Those have since been corrected. We've added CPI in a number of locations so that directors can see those CPIs of their players and try to get a quick glance. I know one of the ideas that we really want in there at some point this season is kind of like a director research page, so that anybody who's in your events, you can pull up a nice list of data on all those players to kind of eyeball and see, who might be playing the wrong division or something like that. So that's kind of a wish list thing that we're hoping to get in. Just most recently got events sorted by different levels. That was an important thing, especially for opens, both in, just opens in general. A lot of back end improvements. That's pretty much a good chunk of Sean's time right now are back end improvements to speed things up so that things are just working a little bit smoother. And then one thing that kind of the development team, Athena, Michael, myself, and the area managers have started to test with is a live chat option within the admin portal, in our Facebook page, and then in Kajabi, which I'm going to go into next. So a live chat, we want to start, early on with it for like emergencies, for kind of a quicker access to somebody. If you're in the middle of an event, you're having trouble, don't know why you're stuck, be able to chat somebody live and get some response real time. That all the logistics of that still have to be worked out. That's why I kind of put a January timeline. Get through the holidays. We'll continue to test, train the area managers to get going. So that's one that, really, really hoping to that is successful. And if we see that it's necessary, maybe bring on some people to help with those support sessions. So now the commission updates. This is something that we implemented this season, where club directors are now earning commissions on memberships. Because that club and that local level is such an important piece to the development of the sport. We up until now, we hadn't really been able to recognize those club directors for their work of getting people to the next level, getting people to the regional level, the state level, the open level, and stuff like that. So we wanted to test this out and see how it would work. So far in the first 3 months, we've already got 3 club directors who have paid their entire yearly membership just on commission. So they may have paid $99 in September. They've already recouped all that money just by, leveraging the ability to have their players sign up for memberships. Those club directors have already paid for their yearly membership. Regional directors, we already have 124 who have paid their entire regional director fee, that $250 or more, $250 fee to be a regional director. 124, that is, I think 60 or 70% of regional directors have already recouped that amount that they put up front. Okay, that doesn't even take into account the amount that they're making on their events and things like that. And then we've got 33 directors who are earning, who have earned over $1,000 in commission, with the average of all 33 of those directors being a little over $1,800. Okay, so we're really this commission structure, which we've had in place for a while for regional directors. Now expanding that has really given more directors the opportunity to generate some money and recoup some of their costs that they've had to put into the sport. So that, and obviously, that helps. Memberships help with everything. It helps, if players want to play at high level events, it helps them get that discount, especially at Opens now, with platinum members getting $20 off in the US, getting $20 off on open singles and doubles. So really, I think I see this as a positive for club directors. Obviously, as we go into next season, we'll evaluate and see, do any changes need to be made to this? Is it working well? How can we improve it and things like that? So really wanted to just share that with everybody. Okay. Now, you've probably received at least a couple emails, and I know I've seen some posts that say, "Oh, is this Kajabi email? Is this legit or is it spam?" I didn't even think about that when I sent it out initially. So I did, I tried to follow up with an email saying, "Hey, this is legit. This is not spam or anything like that." This is a new director resource center that we're going to use. Last year we had it in the admin portal, and I think it's still in there, but it's a bit outdated. So with how old, how much we're throwing at programming right now, they weren't going to have the resources or the bandwidth to be able to put all this information into its own separate site. So we developed something that is kind of like something to keep us going for right now. The plan eventually is to have it just built right into the admin portal. But for now, we're going to use this Kajabi site. Very easy. It's acldirectors.mykajabi.com. It is, let's see. Okay. I also put it in our admin portal. So I know this dashboard of the admin portal looks beautiful and well designed with a bunch of hyperlinks. But I put in there just recently the ACL Director Resource Center, along with brag tracker data, the PEP and DE points spreadsheets, any of the director seminars that up until now Michael and Athena have been doing. Our area managers are going to start doing more of these too, and then our directors table interviews as well. All of those we found are kind of the most important links that you're likely to use. So we wanted to just put those on the homepage or on the dashboard for now. But you can go to the Director Resource Center, and let's see, did that. Let me share. I'll walk you through it a little bit here. Okay. Let me just make sure that that's what's showing. Perfect. Now, this is a public view. This is a public website. A portion of it is a public website. Okay. The entire thing is not a public website, but I just want to kind of walk you through it. This is really if you know somebody who's maybe interested in being a director, or maybe you just want to learn a little bit about the ACL. Maybe you're a bit newer and you don't know really a lot of the ins and outs. This page here really gives you an overview of our club model, our software, what the ACL invests in, our directors table podcast interviews that are on YouTube, and then a direct link to our engagement page. Okay, so all of those are public, and if you click on each one, it'll go to another page that has a bit more information on it, so that you can learn more about what, some different things that we're doing. Now, where the premium access it comes in, and you should have received a link that allows you to sign up and create your own account. I'll go ahead and I'll log in. Okay. Now you notice that when I log in, I get a new toolbar here: library, admin portal, member directory, DEP, and PEP. Okay. On this library, we've got our resource library, upcoming live sessions. So if you pop into there, and I have not updated this since last week, you've got Michael's playback of the CPI, how it works. This is our session that we're in right now. We've got some past sessions on there as well, and then a link right to our channel if you want to look at any of the previous ones. Let's see. So we've got our software training videos as well listed in here. So you can go in and watch any of those videos if you're new to the software. Little caveat on that: we do know that many of these are slightly outdated with some of the new features that are offered. Okay, so the gist is still there. We are working kind of through a potential redesign of the admin portal. So I didn't want to spend the time to create new videos if we weren't if we were just going to have to create new ones with a new design later. So I don't have any plans on updating these right now until I know kind of more information on a potential redesign. Let's see. We are eventually going to start some communities within here. This community feature is in my, I guess in my grand scheme of things, something that will kind of replace our Facebook group. Purpose for that, I think, is not everybody is on Facebook anymore. Also, I think with the amount of information that comes at you on Facebook, getting some notifications might be lost. We found that with the pro group as well. So having one of these communities, there's an app for it where you can get push notifications or emails when a new post is when we want to communicate some more information for you. So that is coming. There's a little there's a little piece to it that I'm not loving right now. And I just haven't had a chance to kind of build it out yet. But I think this will come in January as well. But then the main thing is our resource library. And this resource library is by far not done yet. We want to continue to add resources to this. Area managers are going to be helping with this. Athena is going to be reaching out to state directors to see what other kinds of resources we're looking at. But if you go into this page, each of these are a drop-down menu, and it'll give you links to all of these different items that you might need. Okay, if you're interested in the registering for the officiating program, or if you are looking for the bag tracker data. I know it's an admin portal, but we also want to make sure it's here. Getting started with the ACL. Okay, some different resources here to help you get started with the ACL. We will be adding some discipline policies. I've got to work with our licensing team too as well on some logo usage since that's changed slightly recently. Getting up and running. Okay, there's some resources here. Getting up and running and organizing and managing. Okay, these are there are a lot of resources that we are currently in the process of developing right now, or they're in the design phase. We just have to get them over to this site. So another reason for the Kajabi, this site is that I can then send updates, or one of us can send updates and say, hey, there's a new resource on getting up and running. This is what it is. Go check it out. Downloadable signage that we've had in the admin portal before. minor league teams, and then a list of all these are all the future resources that we just know about that we want to add, not even to mention some of the ideas that we haven't even heard about yet that we'll be gathering. Okay, so this is really a robust resource library. I really want this to be developed and within the first few months of 2025 really have this as close to finish as we can, so that you directors have access to whatever they need to help them be the most successful, run successful events. And especially new directors, as we've got new directors joining us from all different countries around the world, want to make sure that we get them up and running as quickly as they can. And so they don't have to make all the mistakes that we made, that experienced directors have made along the way. Okay. And then there's a member directory page in here. So you can go into that directory page up here in the top right-hand corner. You can go into your settings and you can upload a photo. You can put any social media if you have a club page that you want to link in there. And then you can search people out if you need to, you want to see what they're doing or anything like that. Okay. And then we've got a direct link to our director engagement, how that works, as well as a link to the spreadsheet. And then we've got one for PEP as well. Okay. So this is something that I've really wanted to get implemented for a long time. Over the last couple of years, we've obviously been able to bring Michael on and Athena on full time, which has given me a little bit more time to start working on some of these things. Both of them and our area managers are helping to develop resources that we can put on that resource page, again, to help you as directors. Okay. All these links up top are live links. Those are the public links. And then anytime, if you do not see these links in the gray bar, that just means you aren't logged in. If you don't have a login account yet, go in and check your email. You should have received a couple different instances of invitations or whatnot. Again, if you don't, after you search through junk or your inbox, you still don't see them, reach out and we'll get you access to it. Okay. All right, almost done here. All right. One-stop shop, yes. Okay. Now, we're about 45 minutes in now. I'm going to try to wrap up here. I know we're going on to a break over the next couple weeks. It'll probably be a little bit spotty with some people who are taking some time off. So just be patient with the staff as they try to spend some time with their families after kind of a crazy 3-4 months. Our off season was real short this year, less than 6 weeks when you take in Spencer's. So the travel I know can be pretty exhausting. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of back to the positive thinking and really looking at the things that we've done well to move the game forward versus, obviously focusing on the negatives, which can sometimes be pretty draining. And I'm as guilty of that as anybody, being, somebody who likes to have control over what's going on. Just wanted to kind of end on a story to maybe bring some perspective. Yeah. Off season, right, Daryl? So, if you want, close your eyes. If you think I'm crazy and don't want to close your eyes, then just listen to my voice. What I want you to do, imagine a small local park that was built, maybe 10 years ago. Okay, when it first was developed, it was just a swing, a slide, a few picnic tables, not much to it. Okay, over time, the park, the town who ran the park, they added some new additions to it, not as fast as maybe the town wanted to, but they kept adding to it, all for the community. Now, it was a place that was just full of potentials where families and friends, they could gather. People loved being part of it in the early stages. and then talking about what it could be and really feeling proud of it. Now, as the years went on, the park became more popular. A lot more people started to come, and challenges started to present themselves. The town had a tougher time keeping up with it, but the popularity really outgrew the town's resources. The grass wore thin, the swings began to squeak a little bit, the equipment started to feel a little bit outdated. Now, families who'd been there since the beginning began to feel a bit frustrated. They got worried that the town wasn't keeping up. Some people who hosted big community events even noticed that fewer people were showing up. Now, around this time, a new cafe opened in town, and to the side, they had a small patch of grass that they wanted to do something with. So they put a much smaller park on that patch of grass. It had a few pieces of really modern, fancy-looking equipment in an effort to get people into their cafe so that those people would, buy coffee, buy snacks, things like that for the kids or for them while they were sitting there. Now, at first glance, it really seemed like a great place to be. Some of the families decided to leave the town's park and go over to this new park. Okay. But over time, they really started to realize something was missing. The new park just didn't offer that same sense of community that they were used to with the old park. Instead of hosting events that brought people from across the town together, across the community, the cafe was more emphasizing on smaller, separate events that really didn't benefit the larger community. It really wasn't a space that connected families and neighborhoods in a meaningful way. Now, the families who did stay with the original park, they didn't give up. Okay, they rallied together. They raised their concerns to the park. They worked to ensure that the resources that were there for needed improvements. And by the 20-year mark, the park had transformed. Smoother walking paths, new equipment, spaces for all kinds of events. And those who stayed with the old park really felt a huge sense of pride, knowing that they had helped shape something bigger than themselves, a place that brought people together and enriched their entire neighborhood. And now, after 30 years later, the park was a cherished community hub. It was more of a place to play. It was a space for connections, traditions, growth. Some of the families who left for the shiny new park decided to return, realizing that the original park really offered something that no other place could offer, a shared commitment to building this big community. Okay. Now, why do I bring that up and why did I ramble through that story? You really can, I'd like you to, think about that in terms of the ACL. I started this story with a park that was 10 years old. The ACL is about 10 years old right now. We started with a simple vision like the park, and many of us joined us in the early days because they believed what we were doing together. I know I was one of the very first directors, especially first directors west of the Mississippi, and I saw the vision of the ACL immediately. Okay. Now, with that said, we are fully aware of our limitations and that what we need to do to keep improving so that we can grow the ACL. We know these challenges that we face around different areas of the company have caused people to leave for other options. And while those options, I think, they might seem attractive at first, there's really nothing like the sense of community that at least I feel with being part of something bigger. Okay, for me, it wasn't about running small, isolated events for just my local players. It was running those events, knowing that they were part of something at the time nationally, now internationally. Okay, so those of you who have stayed with us from the beginning or been with us from the beginning, you've inspired us all to keep going. Okay, we want to definitely thank you for staying with us despite some of our warts. Okay. You're not just part of the local league. Okay. You're part of something bigger, internationally bigger. Okay. We've got something like 30 or 40 countries that are competing and participating in the ACL, and that's growing. Just the amount of inquiries I get on a weekly basis just continues to grow. So with that, with your support, I know when we hit that 20-year mark, when we hit that 30-year mark, we're going to continue to grow and improve this foundation that we've already developed into something completely magical that is just recognized around the world. So with that, thank you for listening the last few minutes to my rambling. With that, I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Whatever if you celebrate within your family. This is fun. Cornhole is supposed to be fun. It's a community. It's entertainment. It's recreation. It's a nice outlet for people. And those of you who are with us are part of something bigger. So with that, I want to thank you. I'm going to bring Michael and Athena on here real quick to put them on the spot. So,
oh no!
I really, I couldn't do even a small fraction of what I do without these two, and I know a lot of you have gotten close to them through online channels, at events, and things like that. For that, I know that these two are putting the best face forward for the ACL. So hopefully everybody appreciates the work that these two are doing as well. So.
Yep. And I appreciate everybody and all the directors. So thank you all.
Yes, definitely. Yep. Thank all of you and Todd, and just being able to bring all of these together, scheduling everything that you do. You definitely do a lot for us as well. But I hope all the directors do have a good, happy holiday as well.
All right. Thanks, everyone.